Welcome back to the Detroit Lions, Fonza. What a week of football it was, and a crazy game to close it off with Green Bay last night. Some pretty controversial stuff, but I'm gonna get into the picks really quick, and we'll get into it as we go through each game. You got the Thursday night with Cleveland, the Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. In this game, I got to go with the Ravens right now. The really tough game against New England, but they pulled it out at the end. Flacco went down. They got the score that they needed, and the field goal. And Cleveland, they're not looking too bad. Their offense seems a little better than it was last year, but I still think they got a ways to go, especially when it comes to their pass game. They need to get some guys going either at receiver, or they need to get some more guys. But yeah, right now I got to go with Baltimore. I can't really pick the Cleveland Browns. Next, you got the Chargers taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs getting their first win against the Saints in overtime. One of the big games that just passed this week, and I think there was 3 overtime games in all. This is one of the overtime games. The Chargers coming off of a huge loss against the Atlanta Falcons. Not really sure what happened to their offense in that one, but the Falcons are playing some good ball, so it's just one of those. But the Chargers are going to Kansas City. It's a hard place to play at, so I think I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs for this game. I expect these two teams to go 1-1 with each other, but right now I'm picking the Chiefs in this game. Should be a decent one. Next, you got the 49ers taking on the Jets. 49ers coming off that first loss against the Minnesota Vikings, very unexpected for me. And then you also got the New York Jets. This one's looking like I'm looking forward to this one. I want to see, the Jets did come off of that overtime win against the Miami Dolphins. That was a hard-fought one division game, so you usually expect the matchups to be a little tougher, even if one team doesn't seem like they're really on par. But, that's a division game. This one should be decent, but, I expect the 49ers to bounce back here, and not to mention with Darrelle Revis being out, so that's going to really hurt them in the secondary. They're probably gonna have to change it up on their defense, maybe a little more scheming to make up for that loss. But we'll see how things go with that team. And next, you got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the St. Louis Rams, division game, and it will be in St. Louis. So this is gonna be a tough, hard-fought one. But I think I'm gonna take the Seahawks in this one. They got some tough defense. Pretty much their whole division, they've got some pretty good defense. I'm not too sure on the Rams yet. We'll see. They're not looking too bad, but I'll see. I wouldn't put them on par with the other 3 just yet. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Seahawks in a tough game. It's gonna be a division game. St. Louis could pull this out, but right now I gotta go with Marshawn Lynch, that beast Seahawk team. And you got the Panthers and Falcons. Falcons, I expect them to keep rolling here, but Cam Newton and them might give them a little scare, but I gotta go with the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan's looking good. You got Michael Turner. And the Panthers coming out that big loss against the Giants. I expect them to play a little better. They might even bounce back a little bit, but at the end of the day, I don't see them winning in Atlanta right now. Next, you got the... Hold on, let me move this down just a little bit. Alright, next you got the... Hold on, I'm going too far here. Alright, next you got the New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. Going to be a division game. You got the New England Patriots going into Buffalo, so hey, this is going to be a good one. Buffalo, they beat New England last year. They had that meltdown though. I think it was after going to 5-2 or so. Well, we'll see if they can get the win here. They could. And they're at home. New England coming in. This is actually a pretty tough game for me to pick. I'm just not sure what Bills we're going to get. That's the whole point with this team. Are they going to come to play? Are we going to see the Bills from week 1, which I'm really doubting. It's probably just one bad game for them, but they don't look too bad. But being that they're at home, I'm going to go with the Bills for that. But I'm kind of half expecting New England to win this game, but I'm going to go with the benefit of the doubt, and I'll give the Bills the win here at home, basically because they're being at home. And next, you got the Titans taking on the Texans. Titans coming off of that big win against us. What a great... It was a fun game to watch. I won't lie on that, but it wasn't fun coming out on the bad side of that. I'll get a little more into that when we get to that Detroit game. But you got the Titans taking on the Texans, going into this will be in Texas Stadium. So yeah, but gotta go with the Texans here. They're just looking too good on all cylinders, offense, defense. You got Andre Johnson, got all the Arian Foster. I mean, these guys are really mauling right now, and their secondary is good. They're just playing really great ball right now. I don't see many teams beating the Texans right now, and I don't see the Titans beating them at home. So I got to go with the Texans here. Next, you got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Jaguars. Will be in Jacksonville. You know, the Bengals are really looking nice right now. I like what I'm seeing out of Andy Dalton. A lot of their young receivers stepping up. A.J. Green, even Sanu had a nice pass there, and you got A.J. Hawkins. So, you know, they got a really good, stellar group on offense there, and not to mention with Dunlop coming back on defense, making a big impact in that Washington Redskins game. Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with the Bengals in this game. I like what I'm seeing, but, you know, the Jags, their defense, they got a stellar defense themselves, so they'll probably slow the offense down a little bit, and not to mention you got Maurice Jones-Drew on the offensive side of things, and Blaine Gabbert's he's playing much better than he did last year, so it'll make it interesting. They could pull this one out at home, but, you know, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. Next, you got the Dolphins taking on the Cardinals. Hey, the Miami Dolphins have been playing some hard ball, but, you know, they're going into Arizona, and the Cardinals, they're really playing tough right now. Not a team I'd want to play right now, so, you know, I got to go with the Cardinals, and then the fact of them being at home, going to be a tough one. Next, you got the Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos. Raiders getting that first win against the Steelers. Another one of the epic games of this past week. They are going into Denver, you know, Peyton Manning and them. They just needed a couple stops these last two games, and that could have been from 1-2 to 3-0. But, you know, the Broncos need to start getting it together in the first half of things. You can't let them have that late dividends there. But yeah, you know, this isn't Denver, so I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos. But you know, the Raiders could surprise them. These two teams usually go 1-1, so whoever wins this game most likely will win. The other team will win the other, but we'll see. I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos for this pick. Next, you got the Washington Redskins taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be in Tampa. This is an interesting one to pick. I gotta see what's going on with Josh Freeman on their offensive side of things. But you know, the Redskins have some pretty stellar defense right now, and then their offense is a little more high key than I would say than the Tampa Bay Bucks. But the Bucks are playing they're playing some good defense as well. But right now, I'm leaning more towards the Redskins, being that their offense is just a little more explosive. So I'm definitely going to go with the Washington Redskins in this game, but the Bucks could surprise me if they can pick it up just a little bit on the offensive side of things. And next, you got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay coming off of that really tough loss. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of guys who say different things about this game, but at the end of the day, I for one believe that Green Bay won that game. But I don't want to stay on that too much, but you know, you got the Saints coming off a tough loss in overtime. A lot of bad calls in a lot of these games, but I mean, till you get the other officials back, somebody's got to officiate the games, and so you're gonna have a lot of bad calls like this right now. But yeah, that was a tough loss for Green Bay to take. But you got the 0-3 New Orleans Saints going in to play the 1-2 Green Bay Packers. Which could be a good game. I expect Green Bay's offense to finally get it going in this one. The New Orleans Saints defense is struggling on pretty much all cylinders. I think they're ranked 32 in total defense right now. But you know, as far as the Saints offense goes against Green Bay's defense, I expect Green Bay's defense to come out and play tough. But they are going against Drew Brees, so I expect him to have a decent day as well. And tough one to pick, but you know, with Green Bay being at home and after that loss, I expect them to win this game. But you know, the Saints could surprise them because you know they're hungry as well. This one's gonna go right down to the wire. Next, you got the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Eli Manning and them Giants going in to play the Philadelphia in the city of brotherly love. So got to take the Giants in this one. The Eagles, they just haven't seemed to got it together on their offense. I can't see them winning this one, even though they are at home. They got to get it together. Right now, I'm just not seeing it. So they got all the pieces there. They just need to put it together and, you know, be a little more disciplined. But right now, I'm going to go with the Giants. But, you know, the Eagles could surprise me. I think they're going to, within this week or the next 2 weeks, I think they're finally going to get the pieces together and get things straight. Because right now, they're turning the ball over and, you know, they're just messing up right now. They're beating themselves a lot. Next, you got the Bears taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This will be in Dallas. With the Bears coming in, you know, the offense has been good. This is a tough game to pick. Tough one, but you know, since the Cowboys are at home, I think I'm gonna go with them. Crowd noise being in that dome, but the Bears will give them a fight. I'm still questioning the Bears' offensive line. You got DeMarcus Ware who's gonna probably rip through there, probably get at least 1 sack or 2. It's gonna be a tough one for the Bears, but we'll see how this goes. I want to see how their offense can pick it up a little bit, but you know, the Cowboys defense isn't playing some bad football right now, so I like what I'm seeing out of those guys. So I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Last, you got the Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota coming off the big win against the 49ers, like I stated earlier. Lions coming off of that big loss against the Tennessee Titans. And in this game, the Lions are at home, but, you know, I'm going to have to go with the Minnesota Vikings for a lot of reasons here because, you know, with how the Lions defense played in that Titans game, I mean, you can't just give up. When your offense scores 41 points and you give up 44, it's kind of tough to win games in this league. And, you know, a lot of the plays I saw on that defense, they were just letting up big plays. You got to make the tackle once they make the catch. I wasn't seeing any physical play as far as the back end goes. A lot of the coverage was off. It seemed like guys were confused at times. And it didn't seem like they could just keep up with the receivers and tight ends of the Tennessee Titans. Not to mention the blown plays on special teams. Well, not blown plays. It's just good plays by the good setup by the Tennessee Titans. So I won't take anything away from that. But the Lions just seem to be out of place on defense. Outside of their offense, they seem to be struggling really hard. And with the weapons that the Vikings have, and let's not forget Adrian Peterson. Then you got Percy Harvin, Kyle Rudolph at tight end, and Christian Ponder's playing some good ball. This is going to be a good game. It's probably might even be a shootout. I expect the Lions offense to do decently, but I just don't know about the defense right now. It could be, if they keep playing like this, it's going to be tough for them to even contend for this division, or let alone even for a wild card spot, might I say. They've really got to get it together. I expect them to play a little better than they did in this next game. It's a good thing after this we got the bye coming up, because they really need to straighten some things out with this defense. Was a tough loss, but you know they did fight till the end. Still could have won that game at the end, so that's all that really matters. But you got to put yourself in position to win through it, so it doesn't have to go to overtime. They just got to fix some things, and we'll see how it goes. And you guys leave me your comments and tell me what you guys think about the crazy catch at the end of that Green Bay game, to anything else you may have on your mind. And I'll see you next time on the Detroit Lions Fonza.